Hi everyone, my name is Kevin and this is My Corner, and today I'm bringing you my very first Star Wars Black Series review. I wanted to do something a little bit different other than my Transformer reviews, which you can check out on my channel. Now, what I want to do with this series of reviews is go over the backstories and an overview of the movies for each character. So let's begin. I wanted to cover this series of toys, but I didn't want to start with the Force Awakens line. I wanted to do something more recent, but including everything we know from the movies thus far. That way, when episode 9 rolls around, I can cover those figures without having to retread the same story beats. Okay, let's get started with the main character of the Disney-era Star Wars trilogy and the end of the Skywalker saga. In case you haven't seen The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I'm going to place a spoiler warning right now. This is your last chance to turn back, and I will provide a timestamp in the description down below if you only want to check out the review. Still here? Okay, let's get cracking. Rey is a scavenger from the planet of Jakku. Jakku is considered to be a junkyard planet where the last battle between the Empire and the Rebellion took place. In Star Wars Battlefront 2's story campaign, they cover the Battle of Jakku through the eyes of Iden Versio. On Jakku, Poe Dameron, the Resistance best pilot, is on a mission to retrieve information about the whereabouts of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Before he was captured by Kylo Ren and the First Order, he hands the key information to his trusty droid, BB-8, who escapes into Jakku's vast desert. At this point, we know that Rey is waiting for her family to return, so she scavenges and survives and dreams of exploring the galaxy until then. She comes across BB-8, who is in trouble, and agrees to help the droid fulfill his mission. Rey later comes across Finn, a stormtrooper from the First Order who defected with the help of Poe Dameron. Both of them set out to escape Jakku and escape the grasp of the First Order with the help of the Millennium Falcon. At this point of the story, Han Solo and Chewbacca manage to find them and help transport them to Takodana to seek help from Mos Kanata. Rey finds a father figure in Han Solo who in turn respects and likes her. He even offers her a job, but Rey refuses because she wants to return to Jakku once her adventure is done. While on Takodana, the Force leads Rey to a treasure chest that contains Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. That blade hasn't been seen since Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. It's a lightsaber that belonged to Anakin Skywalker, who will later become Darth Vader. Obi-Wan Kenobi kept the lightsaber so he could pass it down to Darth Vader's son, Luke Skywalker. Rey touches the lightsaber and is instantly given a vision. She becomes scared of her connection to the Force that is awakening within her. Rey runs away from Mos Kanata's castle into the forest after having her vision. At the same time, the First Order received the tip that a BB-8 droid was on Takodana. They attack the castle, which prompts Rey to defend BB-8 in the forest from a couple of stormtroopers. She then faces Kylo Ren and is quickly subdued and captured. When she wakes up, she is being interrogated and questioned by Kylo Ren using the Force. Kylo Ren is able to use the Force to read her mind, which is a trick that Darth Vader used several times against his opponents. At this point, Rey is getting stronger and stronger in the Force. She uses this opportunity of resistance to peer into the mind of Kylo Ren and reveal secrets about him. Kylo Ren becomes afraid and infuriated that this lone scavenger is a strong Force user. Kylo Ren leaves Rey to find guidance from his master, Supreme Leader Snoke. Rey takes this opportunity to test the limits of her reach with the Force and manages to escape herself through a Jedi mind trick. A quick aside, Jedis are able to read and change people's thoughts momentarily. This is first seen in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope by Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, back to the story. Unbeknownst to her, Finn, Solo, and Chewie are on the base looking for her and trying to figure out a way to stop Starkiller Base. Starkiller Base, the name Starkiller, comes from the protagonist of the Force Unleashed video games. This is no longer canon, but it's a fun nod to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, which is now called Star Wars Legends. She meets up with Finn, Solo, and Chewie and helps them infiltrate Starkiller Base in order to create an opening for the Resistance to take out the First Order's superweapon. It is a weapon that is built into the planet itself and draws power from a nearby star. This weapon is similar in design to the Death Star, which can be seen in the original trilogy and Rogue One, except that this updated version can destroy entire star systems altogether. Rey and Finn go off to set bombs on the top level of the base's oscillator, while Solo and Chewbacca take the bottom path. Kylo Ren searches for Rey while the First Order is mounting a defense against the resistance forces outside. She witnesses the death of Han Solo at the hands of Kylo Ren. At this point, the resistance manage to destroy the oscillator and the planet starts to implode. Rey and Finn make a run for the Millennium Falcon to escape, but are quickly confronted by a wounded Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren force pushes Rey into a tree and knocks her unconscious. It is unclear if she witnesses the duel between Finn and Kylo, but at some point, Kylo uses the Force to reach for Anakin's saber, but she pulls it towards her instead. Through her connection with the Force, she manages to beat Kylo Ren. She then escapes with Finn and Chewie on the Millennium Falcon as Starkiller Base starts to implode. She ends up at the Resistance base, meets General Leia, and with General Leia's blessing, she sets out to find Luke Skywalker, who is on Ahch-To. And that was the overall quick summary of what happens to her in Force Awakens. Now let's see what happens to her in The Last Jedi. Rey appears in front of Luke Skywalker, who is reluctant to return to face the First Order. She pleads with him that they need his help and won't leave without him. She follows him as he performs his daily regimen on the island, but then she eventually starts to feel a powerful connection. This connection leads her to an ancient tree, and there she finds the ancient Jedi text, and Luke Skywalker finally confronts her about her past and what she is searching for. She reveals that her Force powers are manifesting but lacks guidance. At this point, Luke reveals that he refuses to teach a new generation of Jedi. While on Ahch-To, she develops a Force-generated link with Kylo Ren. She and Kylo are able to see, hear, and feel each other through the Force, but not each other's surroundings. She secretly talks to Kylo without letting Skywalker know. At first, she threatened his life, but slowly she starts to question Kylo Ren's motivations and goals. Luke Skywalker eventually comes around and decides to teach her 3 lessons, but after witnessing her power firsthand, it frightens the old Jedi Master and he decides not to teach her again. But during this time, she experiences another vision as she's reaching out with the Force with her feelings. She sees a dark cavern in the water and decides to go explore it. She goes into the hole. This leads her to a mirror that almost reveals the answers that she was looking for. We know that this place beneath the island is brimming with darkness. Yet the mirror-like cave only shows Rey's own reflection, which disheartens Rey. She immediately shares her loneliness with Kylo Ren, and they manage to physically touch each other through the Force. Luke barges in and, realizing what's happening, stops Rey. At this point of the story, Luke finally reveals what happened between Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker, but she had gotten 2 different versions of the same story, one from Luke and one from Kylo Ren previously. She pleads with Luke that the creation of Kylo Ren wasn't his fault and that she has an opportunity to go meet with him. She tells Luke of a vision that she had during her brief physical connection with Kylo Ren, a vision of Ben Solo turning on Supreme Leader Snoke. Luke warns her not to go, but she decides to leave anyways. She meets with Kylo Ren and they both discuss Rey's vision to defeat Supreme Leader Snoke. She tells him that when the time comes, she knows that Kylo will do the right thing. As she enters Supreme Leader Snoke's throne room, Snoke tells her that at first he only feared Luke Skywalker, but now realizes that the Force manifested in her in order to combat the growing power of Kylo Ren. She tries several times to attack Snoke, but he easily uses the Force to defend himself. He takes her saber and places it by his side, while he retrieves all that she knows from her mind. He then tasks Kylo Ren to kill her. Kylo Ren instead creates a deception and manages to kill Snoke by igniting the saber that was placed at his side. Both Rey and Kylo Ren work together to defeat the guards in the room. Then she quickly urges Kylo Ren to help her save the Resistance. Kylo Ren refuses and instead offers her a seat of power at his side. She also refuses and both become locked in a battle of force pull for Anakin's lightsaber. The saber breaks in half and the ship that they're on takes massive damage because of the events transpiring between the First Order's fleet and the remaining Resistance ships. Rey at this point leaves on Snoke's escape craft and is assumed that she meets up with Chewie on the Falcon. Rey eventually shows up back on Crate and manages to attract the attention of all the TIE fighters. That way the Resistance has a fighting chance to escape. She then later sees a bunch of silver foxes after defeating all the TIE fighters, and she realizes that the Resistance must be in that crevice. She gets down from the Millennium Falcon, looks at the crevice, and sees there's a mountain of rocks blocking the path for the Resistance fighters to come out and escape. So she uses the Force to move all the rocks and creates a path. And then they all escape on the Millennium Falcon, and now she is tasked with rebuilding the rebellion. And that's it! Whew! That was a lot of story to cover. I hope I covered all the major talking points. If I left anything out, please let me know on Twitter at Superior2099 or just leave a comment. Okay, let's get into some fun facts. First fun fact, J.J. Abrams loves writing stories about great young women and has gone on record saying that he loves crafting those type of stories, which played a big role to have Rey be the lead character for this new trilogy. Second fun fact, Rey's codename during the development of Force Awakens was Kira. Third fun fact, Rey's original costume design included a lot of climbing equipment and tools for scavenging. Fourth fun fact, Daisy Ridley, the actor who plays Rey, had to audition several times before securing the role. She felt her chances were slim, but Miss Ridley said that everything clicked into place on her final audition. And my final fun fact, Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams both wanted an obscure actor to be Rey. They wanted the audience to feel as if they themselves are discovering this new character in the Star Wars mythos. Those were all the fun facts that I thought were neat. Now let's get into the review of Last Jedi, Rey in her Jedi training costume. I think Last Jedi Rey is a great figure to have. I do own the Black Series Force Awakens Rey, but this new line of Black Series toys are using a brand new toy technology. Hasbro has implemented a brand new painting process for their collector toys known as photoreal. It first started with Qui-Gon Jinn, and all the latest Last Jedi Black Series figures stand out because of it. I love the colors of Rey's outfit. It's a very beautiful shade of gray with a hint of blue in it. I love her hairstyle and the wraps around her arms. She is pretty much an almost perfect toy version of Rey from The Last Jedi. She comes with 2 accessories. She, of course, carries Anakin's lightsaber and carries her trusty pistol that she received in The Force Awakens. While I do enjoy my Force Awakens Rey, this figure is leaps and bounds better than her first costume. Of course, her first costume was closer to her origins as a scavenger, but I love the evolution from that to this latest figure. Look at the different textures of her outfit. You can clearly see that her arm wraps are made of a different material than her robes. This toy is designed to show off that cloth-like appearance by having several folds and crevices. Her second layer underneath almost looks like chainmail. Her leather belt, wristband, and boots all match and look great. My only criticism is her expression. It seems a little bland and it is a little difficult to turn her head because of her hair. She also has this cloth wrapped around her waist, which is underneath her leather belt. That cloth should be a different color or a darker gray, but it's not noticeable and it's just me being nitpicky. Overall, Jedi Training Rey is a great looking figure and comes really close to matching her movie counterpart. This is a great figure for the price point, and I'm glad that they included the gun when they could have easily just left it out. What did you think of this figure? Will you pick up Rey in her Jedi training outfit? Let me know in the comments below. Please give a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you enjoyed this style of content. Thanks for everything, and this has been Kevin's Corner.